I've been thinking a lot this weekend about the idea of responsible and reckless decision making and the power that it can have on one's mental well-being over time. Now, take for example something like staying in a career that you know you're not happy in versus taking the leap of faith into something new of which you may not know what that is. Now, most of us have spent the last 10 to 20 years really architecting our futures and our future careers. Um, and we've become very rewarded in that. Great salaries, great pensions, great perks. But what if you wake up every morning with all of those things, but you're just not happy in your own skin? You're just not happy with the career that you're in. It's not fulfilling in any way, and you don't feel like there's any purpose. Well, this was the life I was living. I was comfortable, I was secure, I was seemingly invulnerable. But when I actually took a step back, I realized that I was bored, I was listless, and I was sailing without any purpose whatsoever. And I knew that I had to make a change. Now, for me, the problem wasn't accepting that there was a problem. I knew there was a problem. For me, it was getting my head around the enormity of having to make that change and whatever that change might look like. Like most of you, I have and still do have all of the trappings that go with life. I have a mortgage, I have all of the bills, I've got children, and I guess more importantly, I had become very accustomed to a certain way of living based on the salary I was bringing in. And so the idea of compromising on any of those things just seemed so big that it wasn't a decision that I was prepared to make. Now, over the years, for me, I've realized that in order for me to make those decisions, I have to shift the perspective. I have to see it from a different place. For example, in regards to the career, it was less about what I could lose by making that decision. It was more about what I could gain by making that decision. And that simple shift of perspective really changed things for me. And it really allowed me to see things from a much more refined place that allowed me to work through a process to get to where I am now. Now, I don't pretend to sit here having reached some sort of career nirvana. That's definitely not the case. I battle with whether I've made the right decision every day. But what I do know is I have tasted what it feels like to be living in a much more fulfilled place and to have a real refined purpose of where I want to go, which is to help mid-career professionals navigate those really choppy waters of career recalibrations. Perspective shifting can be a very powerful tool if you are prepared to give yourself the space to be able to explore what that change in perspective might look like. It's helped me immeasurably in some of my key decisions. I would suggest that it could help you immeasurably too if you just give yourself the space to be able to look at things from a different perspective. Take a step back from perhaps the vantage point you're seeing things today and consider it from a different alternative position.